Hello, hi, very happy good evening. So this is Krishna Ma'am. We're talking about the story of life on earth, and that's biology. So thank you so much for joining my new beginning series. So we are here towards the end of evolution. Hi 𝗍𝐴, a very happy good evening. So your health was not in a good condition, so you were not able to attend classes for a few days. That's absolutely fine, but I hope you're doing good. So guys, please give a lot of importance to your health, because health is what decides everything. The way your digestion happens, the way your metabolism works, the way your mind works, everything depends on food. So probably food is very important. Food and nutrition is important for your mental health as well. So please be cautious of what you eat and what kind of foods you include in your daily lifestyle. Alright, so thank you so much for watching once again, and please do like, share and subscribe. So today we're going to say a goodbye to evolution. So for a long time we have been talking about evolution, so I guess you guys are tired, so am I. So even I would like to see something very different. You're still properly not good, okay? So please take enough care, so please take enough rest, so sleep well, eat well, do a bit of exercise, keep your mind fresh. Yes, Pooja, very happy good evening. So Pooja, this is your second lecture of mine, so I hope you liked my first lecture, so that's why you're here. So thank you, Pooja, for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. So today we have only content for only 5 or 6 minutes, but after that I have a lot of questions, so we will solve some questions. Okay, you have invited Pooja. Okay, so thank you so much, 𝗍𝐴. So I feel 𝗍𝐴 was enjoying my lecture, so isliye he has invited his friends as well. So thank you so much for your support. This is what gives me a lot of enthusiasm and power to drive the class. Thank you once again. So for all those who have subscribed my channel, or all those who are regular to see the community post in my channel, you'd have seen a poll, right? So asking for so I put on a poll asking, do you guys need a motivational session or do you guys need a regular class? So I've got some 46 votes saying yes, we need a motivational session, because before I used to take class and every Saturday we used to have a motivational session. But since I'm taking alternate class because I'm already packed on the other days, so I just put on this poll that do you guys need a motivational session, and I was really surprised to see a lot of positive response. So I felt okay, so there's a need and really you guys need some motivation. So to uplift your spirits, to make you overwhelming, so I'm here with a motivational session in the next class. So today is Wednesday, so on Friday we'll have a motivational session and Monday you'll have a mentee. So I want to give you some time for mentee, so I don't want to do it immediately. So today I'm ending the lecture, so today I have a few questions with me. So I don't want to have a mentee right after, so I want to give you some time for preparation. So Friday you will have a motivational session, so to uplift all your spirits, to put you back in track, to make you more disciplined, religious into whatever you're doing. So you have to follow a religious discipline, so whatever your routine is. So some people feel your routine is boring, ma'am, every day I'm doing the same thing, there's no fun or life in my life itself. So well, so here I am on Friday at 4:15, so 4:15 or 4:30 probably. So we will have a motivational session, so that after which you're all very fresh and you go for a weekend, and Monday you come all prepared for the mentee quiz. All right? Yes? Alright, so by then I wish 𝗍𝐴 will also be fine. He's ready, so probably he will start by the end of this week or so. Alright, 𝗍𝐴? Yes. So like you, he was also not well and now he's getting better, so probably he'll start here. Okay? Yes? So everyone is so packed, and now the climate is also very unpredictable. So I would tell you, so I still remember last week this time I was wearing 2-3 layers, so it was very cold, so I used to bring gloves because I had to walk back home, so I used to bring gloves. But today we're all sitting under the AC. So look at the transition of the climate change, so it is very unpredictable, so that also makes you sick. Okay, so I don't know, so it depends on your immunity as well. So fine, but he will come very soon. All right. Okay, so we are going to talk about evolution. So this is part 5 of evolution, the last part of evolution. So in the last class we have been talking about Hardy-Weinberg principle or Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So he spoke for a small isolated population, so what will be the genetic equilibrium, right? So yeah, so one last time you can look into this GIF, because today is the last lecture of evolution. So this pretty much correlates with evolution. So we are here. Yeah, so what were we talking? So we have done with everything. So we are only left with evolution of man. So it was a beautiful journey. So we start off with how life originated on earth. What were the evidences that we have to prove evolution? So how did the first life come on earth? What is adaptive radiation? How did biological evolution start? So is the fitness getting inherited, etc.? Right? So how did mechanism, how did evolution come into picture? So what is mutation? So what did 𝐕∐𝗐𝗏 say? Then finally we stopped with Hardy-Weinberg principle. So today we are going to talk about a brief account of evolution and the evolution of man. Okay? Okay, fine. So a quick recap. So we'll start from the recap of Hardy-Weinberg principle. So I'll let you go quickly because the chapter is going to be done. So we are here talking about the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So he said the allele frequency in a population is constant, right? So he said genetic equilibrium exists and it is a constant, right? So the allele frequency in a population remains the same from one generation to the other. So in other words, he said the gene pool remains the same. So gene pool is the sum of all genes and its alleles, right? So he took 2 alleles. Yes, ma'am, a very, very happy good evening. So thank you so much for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. So he took an allele A and he called the frequency of capital A to be P and the frequency of small a to be Q. So when he asked about the frequency of AA and A small a, so it would be P square and Q square. So he said the frequency is P plus 2 the whole square, which is P square plus 2 Q square plus 2PQ. So this is the frequency of homozygous dominant, this is the frequency of homozygous recessive, and this is heterozygous, and this is equal to 1. So this is what Hardy-Weinberg suggested. If it deviates from 1, meaning the genetic equilibrium is not maintained. Alright, so this holds good for a small group of population. So there are some factors which affects your Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. So first is your gene flow or your gene migration. So there can be a gene which flows from one group of population to the other. So if there is an intercalculation marriage, yes. Wishing me for chocolate day, yes, thank you. So happy chocolate day to you as well. So too much of gene migration includes your genetic drift. Then you have mutation. So you have natural selection. And then you have variation. So all these affects your Hardy-Weinberg principle. After this, we spoke about founder's effect, right? So this is where we stop. So today we'll solve a few questions on the same. But I have to teach you some more things. So to understand natural selections, there are 3 graphs given in your textbook. So they are the operating traits for natural selection. Okay, so this graph is given right under the topic of Hardy-Weinberg principle in your book. So please go through that graph. Okay, so operation of natural selection on a particular trait. So you have 3 graphs. So one is stabilizing. Number 2, it is directional. Number 3 is disruptive. If I have 2 populations, if both the populations are stably in equilibrium, it is stabilizing population. The natural system is trying to stabilize both the population. If it's directional, meaning it will shift towards only one population. So natural selection moves forward to stabilize only one population. So it either moves in this direction or in this direction. So here it has moved here. The third type is destructive. So both of them does not grow enough. So the natural selection does not support either of these. So these three graphs are very important, so please pay attention to them. Alright, so now we are going to talk about a brief account of evolution, or the evolution of man. So before we go to evolution of man, so we are going to talk about a brief account of evolution. So, about 2000 million years ago, the first cellular life forms appeared on Earth. Okay, so this is about 2000 million years ago. Okay, so after this, how the non-cellular aggregates, so you had the inorganic components, right? So how the non-cellular aggregates of the giant macromolecules evolved into cells with a membranous envelope is a mystery. So we do not know. So when exactly this happened, so we know this happened, but we do not know when exactly this happened. So some of these cells released oxygen. So probably it released oxygen using a similar reaction of photosynthesis. So in photosynthesis, how is oxygen produced? By the splitting of water molecules into H+, O2 and electrons. Right? So this is using the sun's rays. And using the proper light harvesting complex, we'll read this in photosynthesis in class 11th. Alright? So this is how oxygen is produced. Alright? Fine. So now later what happened was around 500 million years ago. So I'll write MYA. So before that, slowly single-celled organisms became multicellular organisms. Right? Okay. So about 500 million years ago, so this is pretty late, okay, so I'm talking about, so that is when your multicellular organisms came into picture, alright. So you can say small organisms, tiny bacteria came into picture, okay. So this happened around 500 million years ago. So out of, about 350 million years ago, so you had jawless fishes arising. So these jawless fishes had fins and snout. About 230 million years ago, you had seaweeds. So weeds are unwanted plants and certain land plants appearing. So plants were the first one to invade land. So you can say around 500 million years ago, invertebrates arrived. Like your monirans, your protistants, the invertebrates arrived, like your sponges, your coelentrates, everything is invertebrates, right? So jawless fishes comes under vertebrates if you have read Animal Kingdom, right? So around 500 million years ago, you had invertebrates which came on Earth. Around 350 million years ago, you have the jawless fishes. Around 320 million years ago, you have seaweeds and plants. So plants were the first one to colonize lands. So plants have invaded land much before. So when animals came on land, so they found that plants were already overloaded. Alright. So after all this, we come to the concept of animals. So people say probably in South Africa, So there was one type of fish that was found. So they captured one type of fish and that fish is extinct today. So they call that fish as the so it is called as the 𝐂𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻𝐿 fish. Okay, so this fish is extinct today. So these animals are called as lobe fins. So this is one type and this is a broad term. So these lobe fins are today's ancestors of frogs and salamanders. You could say the lobe fins became your amphibians. Amphibians could live both on land as well as in water, and their eggs do not dry up in the sun. Sorry, that is for reptiles, I'm sorry. So not for amphibians. So once again, so plants invaded land much before. So when animals came into picture, plants were already overcrowded. Okay. So in South Africa, they found or they caught a particular type of fish that is called as 𝐂𝐴𝐴𝐵𝐻𝐿, and these group of fishes belong to a group of animals called as lobe fins. So lobe fins actually evolved into amphibians which can live both on land and water. So modern day amphibians include your frogs, your salamanders, etc. Right? So from amphibians evolved your reptiles. So this was around 200 million years ago. But slowly the land reptiles went on to water. They moved back into water. So reptiles actually, for example, crocodile is your reptile. So it lives in water for some time, it lives in land for some time, but it is not an amphibian, right? So the land reptiles which live slowly started going back into water. So the land reptiles I mean are dinosaurs. So the biggest of that type was the Tyrannosaurus rex. So this was 20 feet tall. Hare, imagine an average human is only 6.5 to 7 and this was 20 feet tall and it was very scary because it had a dagger like teeth. Okay, so this was the land reptile which went back into water. Sorry, this was the land reptile and the largest land reptile. The one which went back to water, the example is Ichthyosaurus. Okay, so this is what happened. Yeah, modern day reptiles are your crocodiles, but these were the ancestors. Alright, yes, fine. So the eggs of the reptiles do not dry up in the sun, unlike of the amphibians. For example, if you have seen frog raise egg inside the water, because in sun it will dry up, whereas a reptile does not do that. Okay, fine. So after this, what happened was like giant plants came into picture. So you could say around 65 million years the dinosaurs became extinct. So we do not know why the dinosaurs became extinct. So you and I do not know the real reason. So probably we should be asking a dinosaur if at all we get a chance in life. So why did you become extinct? Why did you leave our beautiful earth? So probably the dinosaurs already knew that humans are going to destroy it. Well, I don't know, on a funny note. But yes, so dinosaurs became extinct around 65 million years ago. So some say it was because of the climatic factors or the climatic reasons. Some say dinosaurs evolved into birds, but still you have small sized reptiles of that era still living with us today. Alright, so very soon you have the giant plants like your pteridophytes coming. So I am writing in the previous slide because in the next slide I don't have much space. So slowly you have your plants coming into picture. So you have your giant pteridophytes. So pteridophytes, especially the ferns, because under pteridophytes you have ferns and hostales. So these pteridophytes were also present, but they fell down to form the coal deposits. They did not live for long. Then very soon after the reptiles became extinct, mammals came to dominate the world. The first formed mammals were the shrews. Okay, so probably this happened again around to 150 million years ago or so. So mammals were very intelligent in sensing and avoiding danger. So you know, right, if you score less, how your parents will react, and you know how to overcome it. So better you study now and don't get any scolding later. So you know how to sense and overcome the danger. And mammals are also viviparous. That is, they give birth to young one and they protect their young one very well. So the modern day mammals that you see are horses, hippopotamus, bear, rabbit, etc. So these mammals were initially found in the South America, but when there was a continental drift between North America and South America, the North American mammals actually became more dominated. Okay, so that is what happened. So with this we come to an end of a brief account of evolution. So I hope I gave you a storyline of how certain things came into picture. So of course mammals are the most complex and smart beings on earth. We continue to say so, but I don't know how far we are true. So we call ourselves the most complicated and the evolved creature, but we don't behave as so, right? So even a donkey, even a buffalo knows how to how not to destroy earth, but we human beings have no sense, right? So we have destroyed the world to a large extent that we end up being mentally ill today. So the statistics of mental health is really alarming. So in the year of 1750 to 1960, 1 in 10,000 people had mental problems. Mental health problem. Their mental health was not absolutely good. Okay, so you and I don't know if you are mentally ill, but everyone is. Okay, so probably your symptoms do not come up. So between 1960 or in between 1960, 3 people in 10,000 were ill. So between that year of transition. Today, 20,000 people in a population of 1 lakh is mentally ill. So which means 20% of our population is suffering with mental problems like depression, anxiety, stress, etc. I bet everyone here is stressed. You as well as me. You are stressed because you have to read so much. I am stressed because I have to take back-to-back classes, right? So this is how the world is going. And what is the solution that we're actually curbing? Medication. So we go for antidepressants, analgesics, you can say anti-anxiety tablets, antipsychotic drugs, right? So we are actually allowing the medical world to grow by this. So you will not believe the world global market of antidepressant is 14.3 billion, and it is expected to increase to 29.3 billion. So is it not really alarming how much we are actually pushing the antidepressant market much more further, right? So do you think the stress in today's generation is much more, or is our life today much more tougher than what it was 100 years before? So I would say 100 years before the stress was more because the technology was less. So today for everything you have technology, but still our stress is more. Or can we say that our resilience has become very low because we are not feeding our mind proper things? So are we not able to resist the stress, everyday stress that we get? So we don't know, right? So I don't know why we call ourselves complex beings just to destroy the world. So we have destroyed everything around us, right? So nothing we have left it good. So yeah, we have alarming green gas emissions, ozone depletion, climate change. We have destroyed enough of trees. We have deforestation. So we have killed a lot of animals by taking over the forest. So what not we have done? We have done everything that's wrong on earth, right? And still we call ourselves as a superior being. So that still contradicts. So if you talk from a genuine point of view, I suppose it is bad. So you have to grow while you allow others to grow, right? So a mother earth is mother for all the creatures here, including the microorganisms to the ugliest lizards, if you say, right? So you cannot do that. So I believe so all the citizens become responsible to recover this knowledge or recover this damage that we have done. So that is what we'll say. Yeah, we kill snakes, so we do everything, right? Like you and me, though we are talking, we are also becoming a part of this bad chain. So you and I, in another way, are also responsible for this destruction. No human being is an exception. Everyone is bad. So don't you use plastic bags? Be honest. Don't you use single-use plastic spoons or plastic plates? right? So always I used to have a bag in my hand because when I have to buy something, sometimes I forget. So when I forget, I have no option. I take a plastic cover from the shop, right? So when we go to parties, when we go to birthday parties, or when we go to the shops outside, you eat in a single-use plastic. So you and I are also to be blamed. I'm not saying though we know, but we are subconsciously into this circle. But yeah, yes, we cannot help. So let's move forward. So I have one small concept of evolution of man. Here we go. So about 15 million years ago, the first man-like organs came into being, organisms. So first was 𝗣𝘗𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧, the second was 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧. So probably I would show you the picture. So he was the 𝗣𝘗𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧 and he was 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧. Then you have Homo erectus, then you have the present day Neanderthals, and you have the Homo sapiens. So this is how actually evolution of man came into picture. So the first one, 𝗣𝗗𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧, looked more ape-like, right? So hairy, and they walk like gorillas and chimpanzees. Both 𝗣𝗗𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧 and 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧, they were hairy and they walk like gorillas and chimpanzees. So you can say 𝗍𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧 was more man-like, but 𝗣𝗗𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧 was exactly an ape. So the first human being-like or feature or the living organism was called as hominoid, and the binomial nomenclature for it is Homo habilis. So his brain capacity was very small. Then you had Homo erectus, his brain capacity increased. Then you had the Neanderthal man, whom you can find in the Australian subcontinent. So during the Ice Age, between 75,000 to 10,000 years, you had the first Homo sapiens, that is you and I. So people like us came. So this is a proper tabular column which talks about their brain size, in which age or which era they came, and they also have other nicknames, like for example 𝗣𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗧 is a fossil ape, right? And your Java man is the Homo erect man. So he learned to stand erect on the backbone. So this is your Homo erectus. So you could go through this. So there's nothing. So I don't want to read this because anyways you will be reading it. So I don't want to read it and waste time. So we move towards the end of this chapter. So we have come to an end of evolution. Okay, so you want to take a screenshot of this. You get my PPTs, right? So I hope you guys know how to take my PPTs. So you have to download the eCareerPoint app. So when you download the eCareerPoint app, so you'll have to log in with a name and with a mail ID and a password. So when you enter inside, so towards the down you have panels like your stuff, your course. So go to free stuff. So open the free stuff, go to our YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel is English medium channel, eCareerPoint-English medium channel. Open it, you will see our series name. So I have done a lot of series. So our series is New Beginning. Inside New Beginning you have the evolution folder. Inside evolution you get all my PPTs in the form of PDF. Alright, so that is how you get my PPTs. Fine. Yeah, with this we come to an end. So I quickly have 10 questions for you. So you can give me the answers quickly. Analogous organs are different in origin but perform similar functions. Common in origin and perform common functions. Common in origin but perform different functions. Different in origin and perform different functions. What are analogous organs? So analogous organs are convergent evolution. So now give me the answer. Quick. Yes, you're absolutely right. So they are different in origin but perform similar functions. Yes. So homologous organs show divergent evolution, convergent evolution, parallel evolution, both B and C. So we are talking about homologous organs. So homologous organs have the same structure but different function. So the answer would be A. Homologous organs show divergent evolution. So it is option A. So thorn of bougainvillea and tendril of cucurbita are examples of homologous organs. So retrogressive evolution is evolution going in the reverse direction. So you listen to 90s songs, you call the theme as retro. So when you're going back in time, when evolution goes back in time, that is retrogressive evolution. Analogous organ comes for different structures but same function, but thorns and tendrils are same structure but different function. So they are homologous organs, okay? A population in a 𝗣𝐴𝐴 a group of population is maintaining a 𝗣𝐴𝐴𝐵 equilibrium for a gene with only 2 alleles. Yes, each gene has 2 alleles. If the gene frequency of an allele A is 0.7, find the genotype of heterozygous combination. So if A is 0.7, so that is P. So we know small a is equal to Q, so that is 0.3. Right? So we know AA plus small a plus 2, plus capital A small a is P square plus 2 square plus 2PQ, right? So 2PQ is the frequency of capital A small a. So capital A small a is equal to 2PQ. So it is 2 into 0.7 into 0.3. So 2 into 0.21. So this is nothing but 0.42. So this will be the answer. Alright. So if the frequency of the dominant allele, again with respect to 𝗣𝐴𝐴 equilibrium we are talking. So if the frequency of the dominant allele is 60%, so A is 60%. So 60 by 100 I would write, right? So 60 by 100, so this will be 0.6. This is how you have to write. So find out the percentage of heterozygous individuals. Heterozygous individuals is like this. So if this is P, so 0.4 is my Q, because you should understand, so P plus Q is 1, okay? So now AA, so the frequency of this is P square Q square plus 2PQ. So AA heterozygous is 2PQ. So this is 2 into 0.6 into 0.4. So this is 2 into 0.24. So this is 0.48. So this is 48%. Okay. So this is how you should solve. So random genetic drift in a population probably results from highly genetically variable individuals interbreeding within the population, constant low mutation rate and large population size. So random genetic drift occurs, that is a gene flow occurs if it cannot be this or this. So you can get confused between highly genetically variable individuals or large population size. Hi Antonia B, how are you? Oh my god, after ages I'm seeing you. Yes, I'm very good. I hope you're doing well. Yes. So thank you so much for remembering me and joining my session. So thank you so much once again, Antonia B. So please do like, share and subscribe. Highly genetically variable individuals. Yes, right. So I would like you to do the match. So what is mutation, gene flow, natural selection or genetic drift? So okay, so we start with mutation. So mutation is change in a population's allele frequency, differences in survival and reproduction. Immigration, emigration, change in allele frequency, source of new alleles. Yes, can you give me the answer? Yes, which would be the right answer? Mutation gives you new alleles, so A is 4, okay. So A4 is only 2 options, so either it can be B or D. So gene flow is the immigration, emigration of gene frequency. So this is the right answer. You don't have to do all the solving, you just have to find 2. So the given diagram of marsupials of Australia shows or provides an example of convergent evolution, because more than one adaptive radiation gives you convergent evolution. So stabilizing selection favors. So just now I taught you the graph in the start of the lecture. So stabilizing selection favors both extreme forms of a tract. So both the populations try to stabilize, so that is stabilizing tract. The last question, genetic drift in a new colony is known as. Genetic drift in a new colony is known as. Okay, yes, Antonia, be fine. Natural selection, founders effect, branching descent, or saltation. So genetic defect is a lot of gene flow in a new colony, so will lead to your founders effect. Alright, so we'll stop here and we'll continue. So on Friday at 4:15 we are having a motivational session to rekindle your spirits and rekindle or to bring back yourself again. Right, on Monday we have a mentee quiz in evolution, so please join me for the same. So have a great evening and thank you so much for watching my lecture. I will meet you on Friday at 4:15 or 4:30, so please stay tuned to check the schedule. So thank you and have a great evening. Bye.